What up, people? Welcome to episode 99 of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. Yes, man, I'm back once again. Another week, another episode, and another step toward episode 100. Official episode 100. I've done way more than 100 episodes of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Step podcast here, right here on YouTube. But officially, not counting the sprinkle assaults, not counting the live editions, not counting the WrestleMania Memory Series, 100 episodes is coming up soon. Actually, dare I say, it'll be coming up next week if I decide to bless the masses with an episode next week. At least a full-fledged episode. But yes. I'm back. And y'all don't know how close, once again, y'all don't know how close y'all were to not getting nothing, not getting Nathan. Because as of last night, I'm looking through my pages of notes. Yeah, right. I'm looking through the doors, the rooms in my mind, the rooms in my creative space, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, do I have anything really to talk about this week? Am I just going to go on a rambling session? Am I going to give people just a sprinkle of salt episode? Am I going to give them a full-fledged episode 99 episode? And if so, what is that going to consist of? Is that going to consist of me just talking about my gripes? No, I did that last week and the week prior. Am I going to talk about my birthday? No, my birthday is way in the past. It's like 3 weeks later. Am I going to talk about the things that are on my mind, that the things are close to my heart? Perhaps. But at the same time, that doesn't really warrant a full-fledged episode. So, what happens? I tune in to Gimmick Infringement, Winchester McDowell, late Sunday night, early Monday morning on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group and all streaming platforms where the podcasts are available. And I start thinking and I start watching. And as soon as I start watching, creativity just flows within me. And I say, I can't waste this great, great barber shop visit from my Dominican barber of choice tomorrow just on the people, the passerbys during my 4.5 mile walk. I need to get in front of a camera. I need to get in front of a mic. I need to see this vision of grandeur looking back at me. I need to brush off the formal wear, the informal wear, tell you the truth. Get back to my color coordination. And I need to come up with something proper like. And boy, do I have a doozy for y'all. This past week, I'm gonna go in my political bag this week. Or should I say, as StreamYard tries to sabotage this recording per usual. I am going to get in my political bag, and I'm going to talk about Zohran Mamdani and the latest controversy, the latest obstacle in his mayoral campaign. This time, he's being accused by some corners of the community of blackfishing. Yeah, people like blackfishing. Something that maybe kind of hurt Kamala Harris in her presidential bid, but she at least does have some type of African American in her, right? Jamaican, I believe. Zohran Mamdani, they say, categorizes himself as African American. And technically, that is correct. Technically, that is correct. But some people going the literal route, talking about, well, he's saying that he's black. He's not black. He has Indian descent. He's from blah, 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 Uganda, da, da, da. You know what? He shouldn't be. And plus, he's not really focusing his issues on the black community. I have some thoughts on that on both sides of the ledger. So I'm going to talk about that. and to give equal time to the incumbent mayor, Mayor Adams, aka Mayor Benson. What kind of week would it be if we didn't have the latest controversy, the latest scandal in or around Mayor Adams' administration? Yeah. This time, he's accused, well, one of his former staffers that are connected to him are accused of giving money, maybe in a bribe, to a reporter. Is it minuscule? Perhaps. Does it really move the ledger? Probably not. But at the same time, as Blind Man Patterson, former Governor David Patterson said, one thing, the problem with Mayor Adams is he's the victim of 1,000 pricks, victim of 1,000 nicks, 1,000 paper cuts. Every time he puts a band-aid on one, he springs the leak somewhere else. And this is the latest example of that. So I'll be talking about that. And then lastly, being the fact that I dedicated 2 episodes, one full episode and another large segment of an episode the last 2 weeks on my amazing Mets, on my Metropolitans, on their losing ways. And I got feedback from a certain individual that resides in the group home in Bergen Beach about me not giving ample space on my podcast to talk about my amazing Metropolitans. I have come up with a new segment because he did recommend. He's not talking about a full-fledged episode. He's not talking about multiple segments. He's talking about, can I get at least 5 minutes? 5 minutes? Well, he's going to get his 5 minutes. 5 minutes of fame. No. That's not the name of the segment. You know what the name of the segment is? SMITTY'S Corner. Yes, I dedicated 5-minute segment for Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach so I can espouse about the greatness or the frustration of being a Metropolitan fan. And of course, as luck would have it, I'm recording this fresh off the latest New York Mets defeat. Yes. So I will get 5 minutes in Smitty's Corner to talk about yours and mine, New York Metropolitans. And time permitting, because it's fluid, have some random salty thoughts, some random observations, one centering on Kelsey Plum and Jack Nicholson. You're probably wondering, what's the connection? One is part of the Los Angeles Sparks. The other one used to be and still is front and center in Los Angeles Lakers games. Maybe is that connection? No. You need to tune in. You need to watch and find out exactly what that connection is between Kelsey Plum and Jack Nicholson. All that and much more on this week's edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. Yes. Before I get things underway, to continue or to follow up from my little soliloquy last week of discussing how important time is. Time! The inner mind's eye! Time! I have 2 observations that over the last week. Because last week I had 9 days off. Actually, today is day number 9. I go back to the shoot job tomorrow, unfortunately. But in my comings and goings over the weekend, I was around extended family, in-laws that I haven't seen in a while. In some cases, haven't seen in years. And once again, time goes so quickly, so quickly. Now, have 2 observations. One, those of you who have frequented this channel, those of you that have listened to the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, and even the Salty Thoughts of Donnie Ooh way back in the day, know my fondness from, my fondness for my Nisi Poo Ooh. Yes, I've talked about her in the past, and this time I'm going to talk about her now. And only those who know would know exactly what Nisi Poo I'm talking about. But Nisi Poo Ooh, yes. Time, the inner mind's eye. Time goes quickly, so quickly. My Nisi Poo Ooh is about to go to high school. Yes, she's about to go to high school. That's a milestone in itself. But you know what another milestone is? My Nisi Poo Ooh has a boyfriend. Yes, that's right. I said it. She has a boyfriend. And I get it. I mean, shoot, junior high school, going to high school, you got a friend that happens to be a boy. It's just the fact that I've known my Nisi Poo Ooh since before birth. So to actually see her smitten and have a boyfriend, oh man, time goes by so quickly. Another another individual I saw was Cousin Chewy. That's my name for him. That's his mother's name back in the days for him. Reason I was going to say that is therefore, listen, children are innocent. I don't put nobody's business out there. So therefore, I go on aliases. People who know, people who don't, figure it out. So I saw Cousin Chewy the other day. And I didn't know that was him. All I know is I saw this boy, this teenager with my daughter, Main Event K. And didn't look familiar. It's dark, but didn't look familiar. I'm like, to be blunt, who the F is this? Who the F is this dude with my daughter? Did she bring some random to the barbecue? What's going on? So my daughter like looks at me and then points to the individual and was like, that's Chewy. I was like, really? No. So she brings Chewy over. And I look and I'm like, wow. Hey, cousin, how you doing? How's everything? All right. Voice all deep and changed. But that wasn't the big part. The big part is Chewy had a full chin beard. Chin hair. Full. Like he could comb it. 16 years old. That's why I didn't recognize him. Plus he had glasses. Plus he had braids. Plus he was like 2 feet taller than the last time I saw him. Like, wow. I told him, I was like, listen, I'm not gonna embarrass you and say, oh man, Chewy, I remember when you was in the stroller, you always used to have the hat, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I remember. I mean, because for some reason, and maybe this happens to everybody, but for me, especially with my in-laws, because I've been in the family over 30 years. So some of the in-laws, I've been in the family longer than they've been on Earth. Others I've known since they count on Earth. Others I've known now some are even grandparents. Shout out to my cousin Q. So in my mind, my cousins get stuck at a certain age in my head. Like some cousins are forever 18. Some cousins are forever 25. Some cousins that are actually in their 40s. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Really? Wow. Okay, secret state with me. It's amazing. Time, the inner mind's eye. Time goes by. Time is not promised and stops for no one. So, like, time. I haven't seen my sister in person. Damn. Since the spring. It's not my fault. Actually, it is my fault, but it's not my fault. Right now, my car is let's say my car's in the shop, so I haven't been able to use my car for the last month, and she lives like in a transportation desert. And even if I took the train an hour and a half, then I still had to walk and take the bus. And I told her, I was like, sis, I love you. Maybe when I rent a car, I get a zip car, or when I'm back on the road again, I'll see you. I got gifts from her, gifts for her from my last cruise that I've yet to give her. And she has gifts for me that she has yet to give me because we just can't connect. She can't drive down here safely by herself right now, and I can't get up there. So hopefully, sooner than later, we'll get together. But time. You never understand how precious time is. 15 years could go by, and you can never get those 15 years back. 4 months can go by just being pig-headed, stubborn, dug in on both sides, and you can never give that back. So, once again, this is probably going to be a reoccurring message on the Salty Thoughts Mike Steph going forward, at least for the foreseeable future. Time. The inner mind's eye. Time. And you know what time it is? It's time to get this show on the road. So, without further ado, good night. I said good night. Good night. And goodbye. Bang.
Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph this morning. It's a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hide the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music mixed for living. Rep New York City, but hate the politicians. Always bring the heat, Steph bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best in the world of what I do. All y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world of what he does. Tap in.
This past week, I wouldn't say controversy, but some news came out, courtesy of the New York Post, claiming that a large segment, or should I say some Black community leaders, are disenfranchised for Zohran Mamdani, in saying that he's portraying himself to be African American, that he's attempting to pass himself off as African American or Black. Now, I'm going to read from this article in the New York Post, and I'm going to put my little 2 cents in where merited, which would be a lot. An emphasizing charlatan and quack who owes a huge apology for attempting to pass himself off as African American. That's what Black leaders are calling Democrat mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani, who, despite his airs of being a great brown hope, continues to flounder with demographics in his entire campaign. It's supposed to help. Insiders say Black voters are not warming up to the Democratic Socialists since roundly rejecting him in June's primary. Okay, so they're off to a scathing start, but it continues with this lady that's on your screen right now. Bishop Chantel Wright. He owes us an apology for the community. How dare he? The 59-year-old Harlem resident and educator told the New York Post in an impassioned interview. Wright was referring to news last month that Mamdani, who is of Indian ancestry but born in Uganda, lied on his application to Columbia University to get favored admission treatment, checking off the Black or African American and Asian boxes on his 2009 Columbia University application regarding his race. She, like many Black New Yorkers, hasn't forgotten. When people use the cover of being African American, that is the most egregious, unacceptable, fraudulent, disingenuous action against our community I can even fathom. Now, pause on the reading. I'm going to be Mr. Literal Man right now and say this, or ask this. If it is true, which they say they are, it is, that he checked off on the application, Black or African American, and the Asian boxes on his application regarding his race, is he lying? I'm asking. I really don't see a lie. He was born in Uganda. His background is Indian, which is located in Asia. And he currently resides and lives in the United States of America. He immigrated, his family immigrated from outside the country to here, from the continent of Africa. So technically, he would classify as an African American. And being the fact that his family is from India, his heritage from India, then technically he would be classified as Asian. You see, as much as I will bring race up in certain situations like this is when you're really, really piercing and really just looking for reasons to cause controversy, looking for reasons to divide and conquer. Do I agree with the backlash? Or should I say the blacklash? Not really. I mean, is it a topic to talk about? Yeah. Is there some type of merit? Well, when I get to the end of this article, maybe we can discuss that, whether there's merit to this or not. So, to continue. Whose seat did he take at that university? He took another Black person's seat. That could have been a first generation or a second generation that was able to go to college, right? A staunch supporter of Mayor Eric Adams wonders, we don't trust him. We. Do you, the person that's watching me on this screen right now, you, the person that's listening to me on the speakers right now, yeah, you, especially if you're a Black person, are we a monolith? Can I speak for all Black people? When I say my beliefs or my feelings, do I speak for everyone or do I speak for my personal opinion? Am I stating my personal opinion? So when I hear we don't trust him, okay, it could be you and 5,000, but there's only 5,000 Black people that live in the city. Are you speaking for the whole demographic? Who died and made you leader? Tell you the truth, and maybe this is part of my ignorance, but I don't remember ever hearing about you. I don't remember hearing you come out for or against Eric Adams in his 4 years of missteps and controversies and scandals and so forth. And it says a staunch supporter of Mayor Adams. So of course you're going to have ill feelings or ill placed feelings, views on his potential successor, the person that's trying to get him out of office, right? I mean, listen, I know this is how politics is. This is how politics, the game is played, but this is ridiculous. I continue. Continuing on the article in hand, as I try to plug my laptop back before it dies. June's Democratic primary. Mamdani's big boost came from white, gentrified Brooklyn, and he also led by 20 points among New Yorkers earning over $100,000. Which hardly fits with his socialist agenda and image as a supporter of blue collar workers. In this picture, you got people from the UFT, United Federation of Teachers, educated for Zohran, and this is probably a stock picture, perhaps, but I'm looking. I think I see. It's almost like, where's Waldo? Where's the black dude? All right, there's one back in the back with a white cap on. I think to the right, but he's not really in the picture posing. He's just behind them. But he does say, he has a picture. I mean, he has a shirt on that says "Educated for Zohran," and then I think there's one that's in the back row with a yellow bandana. And why is he in the back? Why is he in the back? Why is the black in the back? Huh? Huh? Why? I don't know. This picture looking suspect. How about this picture? Oh shit! I see one. He got the finger up. He part of the bloodline. Put them up. We the ones. Loyal workers. HTC. Hotel. And gaming? I guess. I don't know, but pretty much, yeah, I see one guy. He got the ones up. Now, as the numbers suggest, the people most inspired by Mamdani's big ideas are the ones who least need a leg up. The 33-year-old candidate's central message is affordability. But many New Yorkers wonder if the socialist candidate, who has rarely held a job for longer than a few months and lived with his parents almost into his 30s, really understands the need and worldview of low-income wage earners. Okay. This is where I'll call foul again. And I swear, I can't believe that I'm actually defending Mamdani. Because I call a spade a spade. I'm probably not voting for him. Because there's a lot of policy that I just think he's pulling out his ass. But at the same time, in the interest of fairness, I have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Who has rarely held a job for longer than a few months. Well, if he's 33 and he's been in politics for a couple years, isn't that a job that he's held for at least a term, couple terms? So that's a lie right there. Number two, if he was in college and let's say his family had the means to put him through college and say, you know what, boy, just concentrate on your studies, concentrate on your education. Don't worry about it. We got you. That's a plus. That's not a negative. Me, myself, I wish, and I tried. When my kids were in college, I tried my damnness to say, listen, I don't really want you to worry about getting a side job. If you get a side job that doesn't interfere with everything, great. But to the best of my ability, I just want you to concentrate on your studies. I will take care of. Don't worry about tuition. That's my job. Along with the loans, whatever. Fine, that's my job. Right? You're gonna have to pay some back when you leave, but at the same time, my job is to make sure it's not mountainous. Right? So, as for living with his parents till he almost in his 30s, isn't that the majority of people nowadays? They get out of college, they're inundated with all this debt that they're trying to pay off. They can't get a job that matches their degree, that matches their diploma, that matches their bachelor's, uh, associates, masters, doctorate, etc. The rent is too damn high, especially in New York. So sometimes it's cheaper just to live with your parents. And once again, if your parents have the room and your parents don't mind, and you're helping out in ways, or they're looking like it, all right, it's going to be greater later. Okay, fine. Listen, you still got your room. Do you? That's part of the society now. It really is. So once again, it's really nitpicking because this person is not the candidate of their choosing. Matter of fact, I guess maybe they would rather, you know what they would rather him do with his time? Especially since he's a younger individual. They would rather him be at a barbershop, being a beautician, being a beauty salon, 1 o'clock in the morning, talking to my people, smoking a cigar, drinking some yak, drinking some single malt. I guess that's what they would rather him doing, right? Or they would rather him be in a halal truck until midnight, not being able to wash his hands, making sure you could get all the chicken and lamb and rice that you could use. They would rather that, right? Because say he's truly started from the bottom. Now he's here. Listen, Wright is more direct when asked about Mamdani's promise to lower the cost of living, which includes his plan for government to run grocery stores, a rent freeze, but only for rent stabilized New Yorkers like himself, and free city buses. Lies from the pit of hell, Wright shot back. Don't pee on my leg and tell us that it's raining, because we know the difference. One thing our parents teach us as soon as we are cognizant is that nothing is free. You're going to pay double for it in the back end. So no, riding the bus for free might be something that looks cute to the younger generation who is born on TikTok, who's raised on TikTok, she says. But the older folks I'm talking to are not buying it. It's a smoke screen. There remains a sense in the Black community that the Mamdani train has left the station without their input. As one NAACP chief pointed out recently, even as Mamdani launches a belated and lackluster effort to get them on board. Wow. So I ask you, my fellow sociopaths out there, my fellow podcast listeners out there, I ask you the question that's down here. Is Zohran Mamdani African American? And if he isn't, does it matter? And if he is, does it matter? I ask that truthfully, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. Would it surprise any of y'all if I told y'all I was only half African American? Matter of fact, would it surprise any of y'all if I was only a quarter African American? Yes, I know. Look at my features. Look at this simply ravishing face of yours. What would you say if I was a quarter Trinidadian. So that means a quarter West Indian American, right? Okay. Now we got 3/4 left to go, right? Okay, let me see. What would you say if I was a quarter Portuguese? I know you're like, huh? Portuguese? Can you speak Spanish? No, I cannot speak Espanol. But what would you say? What would you say if I was a quarter African American? And what would you say if I was unofficially a quarter Italian? More from Sicily, if you will. More Othello like. What would you say? Would that discount anything that I've said over the 99 episodes of this Soul to Mike Steph podcast? When I'm talking about power to the people? Oh, yeah, look at this. I have a shell wristlet from Ocho Rios, Jamaica. Does that make me a quarter Jamaican? Am I faking it? Does any of that matter if you can just get the job done? I don't know. I don't know. It's a question. It's a question that needs to be answered. It's a question that needs to be asked. Now, while we're still talking about Mr. Mamdani, another issue came up last week. It's a little minor, so that's why I took the banner down, because it had nothing to do with his ethnicity, but it has something to do with some of his policies or policies going forward. Last week, it was said that he was doubling down on his pro-prostitution policies. After being hounded by rival campaigns about his stance on decriminalizing sex work as a Queens Assembly member, i.e. Jackson Heights, i.e. the Roosevelt brothels, Mamdani said this past Wednesday that he wants to mirror the policies of his favorite ex-mayor, Mayor Bill de Blasio. See, that's the reason to fucking not vote for him. Do you really want anybody who says their favorite mayor is the bozo? Quote, what I want to do is look at the ways in which the previous administration addressed this issue, talking about the previous administration before Mayor Benson. He said this when pressed on the issue during an unrelated public event on the Upper East Side. I found that it created far more safety than what the current administration has done, he told reporters in a ding at Mayor Adams, who is running for re-election. De Blasio, at the tail end of his administration in 2020, proposed a series of reforms to decriminalize prostitution in an attempt to shift focus on the arrest of traffickers rather than sex workers. Listen, when I see and hear decriminalization of prostitution, you know what goes in my mind? The first thing that goes in my mind, the first phrase that goes in my mind? Free pussy. But that's not what it means. It just means that you get a slap on the wrist if you giving out the nappy dugout. Doesn't matter what race, creed, creature you are. If you are sharing yourself for a monetary come up, whose business is it? I guess that's what he's thinking. So, being the fact he's a socialism, I get socialist. So I guess he's saying, matter of fact, how about this? Free rent, free buses, free bus rides, and free pussy for all. Come one, come all. Yes. No part in the pun. Come one, come all. You know what? Let me get off the subject. Let me talk about Mayor Benson. Mr. Controversy strikes again. Eric Adams. Ay, Dios mío. I swear. If I didn't have anything to talk about for 6 months straight, all I have to do is just find some dirt on Mayor Adams, and I got a podcast. Eureka. I got it. The latest BS involving our dear Mayor Benson, my bad, our dear Mayor Adams is the following. A former top aide to Mayor Adams and a current advisor to his re-election campaign handed a Big Apple reporter a paper chip bag stuffed with cash this past Wednesday, according to reporting sources. Winnie Greco, the lady that's on your screen right now, gave the bag to Katie Hunnan, a reporter at the city, just steps away from his honor's new campaign office in Harlem. The Post confirmed. Greco, 62, ran into Honan outside the Harlem campaign office, and the reporter later received a text asking her to meet across the street at a nearby TD bank, according to the report. I swear, I was just watching an episode of Better Call Saul, in which he was blackmailed. Well, not blackmailed, but he's framing Howard, trying to get him back, and pretty much trying to frame him as a cokehead, trying to frame him as disillusional, deranged, unhinged, the whole nine. And one of the tactics they used was getting in touch with a person to play a private detective and plant unfavorable pitches that allow Howard to think one thing when it was actually the opposite. And that's what this reminds me of. Some Better Call Saul storyline. Thinking that she was being offered a snack. Hanan told Greco more than once that she could not accept the chips, but Greco insisted, according to the report. After the two parted ways, Honan opened the bag and discovered a red envelope containing at least $100 bill and several $20 bills, the city reported. The outlet referred to the exchange as a failed payoff, but Greco claimed that she accidentally handed the reporter the cash, according to sources. Accidentally. That's a good one. So you accidentally put a red envelope in an open bag of potato chips and gave it to the reporter. How do you accidentally put an envelope filled with cash in something that doesn't hold cash, which is a potato chip bag? I swear. Side note, he has the most idiotic, stupid, money grubbing people at his disposal that I've ever seen in political office. These people, these scandals, they're not worth millions of dollars. They're not like Watergate and whatever. We're talking about petty cash. We're talking about airplane tickets. We're talking about something for $75,000, something for a couple $100. Like my philosophy has always been, when it comes to stuff like this, or just in general, if you're gonna go hard, if you're gonna do it, go hard or go home. So you put a couple $100 in a red envelope to put into, like, what is that supposed to accomplish? I'm feeling insulted, like, damn, I'm only worth $300 for a payoff in the city? Do you know the price of inflation that's worth $3 back in the day? Like, I continue. I make a mistake, she said. I'm so sorry. It's a culture thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad right now. I'm so sorry, honey, Greco told the city. After an initial interview with the outlet, Greco called back with the attorney present, and the report stated, can we forget about this? I try to be a good person. Please, please, please. Don't do in the news nothing about me. I just wanted to be her friend. I was trying to buy her friendship. This is the picture of the potato chips and the envelope. Here's another picture of the envelope filled with cash in a potato chip bag. Sans, I think, any potato chips, but nowadays when it comes to potato chip bags, you'd be lucky if you get a couple chips. So she was trying to buy a friend. That's all. That's all. I just wanted to be her friend, Greco said. I just wanted to have one good friend. It's nothing, she told the outlet. Attorney Stephen Brill further claimed that Greco was purely innocent and chalked up the incident to a misunderstanding based on cultural differences. I could see how this looks strange. I could see how this looks strange. I could see how this looks strange, Brill told the city. But I assure you that Winnie's intent was purely innocent. In Chinese culture, money is often given to others in a gesture of friendship and gratitude. Now, I'm going to take a pause from reading this. And trust me, I am not an expert in Chinese culture, nor do I proclaim to be. You know, she could have got away with this if this was Chinese New Year. This, my friends, is a red envelope that they give out during Chinese New Year. The last couple years, patrons at my shoe job have given me envelopes with something in it. As you can see, I haven't opened this. You know what? You know where I place these? I place these on my bedroom mirror, because no matter how much is in here, the thought of the fact that they liked me enough or they respected me enough to even think about, you know what? I want to give the guy at such and such place a token of my gratitude. This is priceless. I will never open this. Even in my worst day, I won't open it. Or if I do open it, I will never spend it. These are a keepsake for me. And trust, best believe, sometimes I need some petty cash, but no, these are priceless to me. I didn't know what they meant. A friend of mine told me what they meant. I was like, wow. He was like, yeah, you denied that. That's a sign of disrespect. So I take them. And some people get them and spend them. I get them and I put them on my mirror. So when they say it comes to culture, yeah, as far as I know, yeah, that's a valid thing. But putting it in a potato chip bag around re-election season, sour cream to be exact, that's a bad look. That's just a bad look. That's just really a bad look. Winnie is apologetic and embarrassed by any negative impression or confusion that this may have caused, Brill concluded. Greco's volunteer status with the mayor re-election campaign was immediately suspended, the campaign told the New York Post. We are shocked by these reports. Winnie Greco holds no position in this campaign and has been suspended from all volunteer campaign-related activities. Mayor Adams had no prior knowledge of this matter. Spokesman Todd Shapiro said her Bronx home was raided in February that year after she faced a probe by the city's Department of Investigation over allegations that she improperly used her position to get perks. Since that high-profile investigation, Greco has seemed to disappear from New York City for several months, but became a constant presence on the campaign in recent weeks, the city reported. Hence, whenever it seems like he has a chance to get some momentum, some bullshit happens. You cannot tell me that he isn't a ringleader. You can't tell me that all these people go rogue under his watch. Either that means he's not a leader of men, a leader capable of leading the city, a leader capable of getting people around him that are going to support his vision, so forth. Mr. Controversy. I wonder what's going to happen this week. Is it going to be this or is it going to be that? Welcome to the debut of the newest segment of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, SMITTY'S Corner with a K. Yes, AKA 5 minutes or more, possibly less, 5 minutes talking about our New York Mets. Yes, the Amazons. The New York Mets fall short again. Well, I will say, on the bright side, because I've been accused of not talking about them positively, such as my brethren from the group home in Bergen Beach, that the New York Mets have won 5 of their last 7 games. Yes. They won 2 out of 3 at home against the Seattle Mariners, and then they followed it up by losing 2 out of 3 on the road against the Washington Nationals. Then they followed that up by winning 2 out of 3 on the road against their arch nemesis, the Atlanta Braves. So they've won 2 out of the last 3 series, but they still are 7 games behind in the NL East, and they're only a game and a half ahead of the Cincinnati Reds for that 3rd and final wild card spot. Ridiculous. Disgusting. Now, I'm going to go real quick because I'm recording this. Yes. In a big series against the NL East leading Philadelphia Phillies, do you know that we are currently losing 3-0, top of the 4th? Not only that, we are getting no hit. Yes, we are getting no hit through 3 innings by Christopher Sanchez. Yes, Christopher Sanchez, who has an 11-4 record and an ERA of 2.46 with 169 strikeouts. Yes. So Kodai Senga, on the other hand, has pitched 3 innings. Wow, he's actually pitched 3 innings. He's given up 5 hits, 3 earned runs. He's struck out 3, and he's walked 2 in 3 innings. Yes, such a stellar performance by Kodai Senga. So once again, top of the 4th, Mets losing. Mets trail 3-0 at home against the division-leading Philadelphia Phillies. Now, to my notes. So it looks like it'll be 5 of 8 if this score holds. Francisco Lindor singled in the ninth inning yesterday in their loss against the Atlanta Braves to extend his hitting streak to 12 games. Over the last 12 games, he is on a hot streak. He is 24 for 51. That's a 471 batting average with 4 homers and 8 RBIs. Now, if the Mets are to erase their 7-game deficit, these 3 games against the Phillies, they need to win these 3 games. Like I said, the Mets are a game and a half ahead of the Reds for the 3rd and final wild card berth. Do you know what this mother effer David Peterson said after allowing 2 earned runs over 5 2/3 innings and a no decision? We're in a good spot, really. We would be in a better spot if you would have just did your job, by like giving us some type of length. We had a good couple games the last few days, and I think the guys are excited to get back home. So what you're trying to say? You're trying to say that this Sunday afternoon game was a game that, we just want to pack everything in and go back home because we got bigger fish to fry? Not enough offense, starting with pitching. Not enough offense, starting pitching, and relief conspired to sink the Mets in a 4-3 defeat that completed a 500 road trip against the Nationals and the Braves. We got a couple chances, and we didn't get the big hit, Mendoza said. Carlos Mendoza, manager of the New York Metropolitans. We won a series here, and now we got a good team coming up, and we've got to be ready. Like I said, if they were going to make noise, just on an outside chance, that we can make this a race going into September, we need to sweep at home. 3-0 doesn't look like that's going to happen. Wow. Breaking news on the NFL front. Kenny Pickett traded. Yes, traded to the Raiders after the unfortunate wrist injury of Aiden O'Connell this past weekend in preseason action. Yeah, see Smitty's Corner, I give you Mets results, I give you Mets news, and I give you breaking news. Because literally, this broke 2 minutes ago via Yahoo Sports. So yeah, that's this week's Smitty's Corner, the inaugural edition of Smitty's Corner. Will they prove me right? In fact, will they prove Smitty right? Will they prove me and Zal right? I guess we're the ones going to be the judge, and they're going to be the ones that's executing wins or losses. You happy now? There you go. Sure, I think I gave 7 minutes. Wow. It's an improvement, right? It's improvement. Now I'm going to have some random thoughts before I start wrapping this up. What's on your screen right now is Jack Nicholson. Yeah, remember in the intro, I said there's something that connects Jack Nicholson and Kelsey Plum, and it was more than a LA connection. Look at the features. Look at the smile. Look at the dimples. Look at the face of Jack Nicholson playing the Joker from 1989's Batman. Now, look at Kelsey Plum. Look at the face. Look at the features. Look at the smile. Look at the indentations. Just look at that. Are they not simpatico? Are they? Look. There's a reason. There's a reason why she went to LA. People think it was because to solidify her legacy. No. She wanted to get more closer to her long lost pop, the Joker. No, not Jack Nicholson, the Joker. Now, another quick thought. I'll stay on the W. Do y'all find it funny how not that many people are focusing on the WNBA besides the hardcore fans? I gotta preface that. Besides the hardcore fans or the casuals, do y'all find it funny that nobody's really concentrating on the stretch run of the WNBA since Caitlin Clark has been injured for the majority of the season? All the shade that was given Caitlin Clark, all the prima donna talk that was given about talking about Caitlin Clark. Oh, we don't need her. Oh, shoot, we've been popping. Yo, we did this, we did that. We the pioneers. Okay. I don't have the numbers in my hand. I don't have the numbers available, but it's just palpable the lack of juice going into the WNBA playoffs now. And yeah, I can focus it on Caitlin Clark, but I also can say there's been so many injuries this season for star players all across the league. That's part of the reason why the interest amongst the casuals have dropped. Is it possible that being the fact it was coming off an Olympic year, that wear and tear on the top players, that wear and tear on the select teams and so forth, just have finally caught up? But then you say, well, Caitlin Clark didn't make the Olympics. Yeah. But look at their schedule. You come out of college, right? You get drafted pretty much like mere weeks after the Final Four, right? And then mere weeks after that, you're in training camp for the next season. They don't have no off season from college to the pros. Not in the W. Just a thought. Now, also, one last thing. WWE. The ESPN WWE partnership is starting way earlier than we thought, way earlier than I initially found out. The initial news came out. They were supposed to start at WrestleMania 42. Not so fast, my friend. They are starting next month, September 20th to be exact, with their PLE shows airing exclusively on the ESPN direct-to-consumer app, ESPN Premium to be exact, with WWE WrestlePalooza featuring John Cena versus the returning Brock Lesnar. And not only that, that PLE on ESPN will be going head-to-head against AEW's all-out pay-per-view. What I said was going to be true, that they were going to start offering tiers. You have the main tier, the $29.99, which includes WWE PLEs. And then you have the lesser tier where you'll get some live sports, part of the library, not the WWE library. I'm talking about ESPN's library, for a lower tier, a lower number of $11.99 per month. NFL Red Zone is not included in the ESPN direct-to-consumer app. Digitally, you must still subscribe to NFL Premium for the app for Red Zone. Linear TV, ESPN controls that. So a brother like me who actually indulges in the Red Zone, I was like, well, I'm looking for ways to like really trying to say, you know what? Well, I can kind of save some type of money instead of paying $14 a month for NFL Premium. If it's included in the ESPN app, okay, I'll pay the extra $14 or $15 for ESPN, even though I really don't want to, but therefore I'll get the Red Zone, I'll get NBA, I'll get NFL, and I will get the PLEs. Alas, that's not the case. So, like I said in the past, doesn't look like my ass is going to be watching the PLEs live and in living color. I would be watching on a slight delay if they're worth it. Because right now, I've said it before and I say it again, the WWE PLEs, the WWE product right now, no matter how much they spend it, no matter how much they tout their attendance records, no matter how much they tout or how much they're charging for these astronomical prices for live events, the product, in my humble opinion, is not worth it. Not right now. And far be it for me. Am I trying to cut corners? Yeah, I am. Can you call me cheap? No, you can't. Tell you the truth, what's on my head, technically, is almost 3 months of WWE PLEs starting next month. Who the fuck would pay $75 for a hat? This guy right here. So, listen, am I frugal with my money? Nah, I should be. But once again, like we discussed in the past, like multiple outlets have discussed, but what I've discussed in the past, eventually all these self-inflicted wounds that WWE has inflicted on themselves with their associations to Department of Education, Department of Health, Commander-in-Chief, certain comedians, so forth. It starts making the consumer really just, instead of just automatically handing over the dollar, wondering, well, it's not really all that. Plus this, plus this, plus this, plus this, plus that. It's not really, do I really want to do it? Nah, I'm good. Like even right now, I'm recording. Usually there used to be a time I make sure I stop recording when Monday Night Raw comes on. Or I would pause and watch it, and then I would record during the commercials. Right now it's 21 minutes in, and I'm just like, I'll get to it when I get to it. And that's free. Well, free, relatively speaking, because I already had Netflix before they got on Netflix. So I don't consider me paying for WWE product on Netflix because I had Netflix before they got on there. But yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, shoot. Did I watch Forbidden Door? No, I did not. Did I watch Heat Wave? Yeah, because it was on. It was like, I'm not watching nothing, so fuck it. And Heat Wave was pretty good. He was pretty good. Blake Monroe versus Jordan Grace, banger. Obafemi retaining against Zohran Evans, banger. And are we getting a subtle heel turn from Ricky Saints? Ricky Saints came out at the end. Matter of fact, prior to that, he put Zohran Evans on notice and said, "Champ, when you get through him, I'm gonna be standing there." Unfortunately, Zohran Evans didn't get through Obafemi. And literally, Ricky Saints walked past and walked over Zohran Evans to go up and challenge Obafemi. Do I see him dethroning Obafemi? No, I don't. The ruler is going to rule until he decides he doesn't want to rule no more. So, yeah, random salty thoughts in the book. Well, people, that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me in this here podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. Next week, if I decide to give y'all a episode, which I probably will, I'm not even gonna lie, probably will, uplift the spirits. But then at the same time, it is gonna be a kind of rough read. So who knows? But the next episode I decide to drop will be episode 100, episode 100 for all my Spanish listeners out there. 100, not Andrade 100 Almas, but 100 episodes. Yeah. That. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Side note, do you know in my 9 days, I gained 2 pounds? Yes, I gained 2 pounds. I'm now back up to 195, which is not bad, but I got down to 193. So I was floating between 192 and 193. Now I'm like 193, no, 195, 196. Gained 2 pounds, but for a good cause. My lovely daughter Mia took me out for my birthday, belated, to Cat's Delicatessen, the original Cat's on the Lower East Side. And boy, did I stuff myself. I had corned beef and pastrami sandwich on rye, had some potato, French fries, which I didn't finish, had 2 hot dogs with mustard, sauerkraut, and onions, which I ate later on. I've been on a ice cream kick the last week, with consisting of Five Guys ice cream. I mean, Five Guys milkshakes, which I freeze and then let it thaw out a little bit so I can actually eat it with a spoon. Then I had a quart of Haagen-Dazs that lasted 2 days. Then I went to friend / co-worker house for a barbecue. Well, for barbecue food, and I had salmon burgers, hamburgers, hot dogs, homemade coleslaw, stuffed mushrooms, homemade crumb cake, lemon cake, and eggplant parmesan. And that was just on Friday. And then Saturday, I went to another barbecue. And I had barbecue chicken, some homemade potato salad by Aunt Tracy, some scrumptious, cheesy macaroni and cheese by my sister Joy. Joy Ooh, to be exact. Had some peas and rice and cabbage, with peas and rice from my lovely Mrs. Ooh, with the cabbage by Aunt Tracy. Yeah, I had that. Yeah. And then I had some more ice cream, and more ice cream, and more crumb cake. Yeah. So this week, actually, starting tomorrow when I go back to work, I'll be back on my trying to get rid of these 2 pounds, because I was really trying to get to 190, and now I'm back up to 195. But I did go to the gym. And I didn't go to the gym to be on a treadmill. No. That's why you did not have a video. I walked 5 miles. Walk 5 miles. Walk 5 miles. And then I went to the gym and I got the lat pull, the leg press, the rowing machine, the tricep press. I tried the abdominal crunch, but that was just too cumbersome. I did an hour, and boy, is my body hurting. But yeah, I did the thing. So don't get it twisted. I'm still been doing my steps. And tell you the truth, if I wouldn't do my steps, I probably would have ballooned even more. But yeah, I gotta get these 2 pounds off. So wish me luck. With all that being said, I am going to get out of here. But before I do, please, like I said before, please check out my bros from Gimmick Infringement, Winchester and McDowell. They drop each and every late Sunday night, early Monday morning on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group. Please check out the young OG himself. He has a double episode breaking down To Pimp a Butterfly from Kendrick Lamar. And that would be Desmond Powell from Hip to the Games. Please check him out. He drops each and every other Friday on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group, and all streaming platforms where podcasts are available. And last but not least, yeah, those them boys are back. And them boys, I'm talking about myself and the Mojo King, Hidden Gems Football, is back previewing the NFL season, going division by division. We already dropped the NFC West. Next to come is the NFC South, and that is available on the 19 Media Group YouTube channel and all streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. Yeah. So, with all that being said, man, it's been great. Episode 100 is going to be a monster. So if I do not drop next week, that's because I'm trying to make sure that episode 100 is all that it's supposed to be, all that it should be, and more. So if it's just a sprinkle of salt, it's a sprinkle of salt. You know, you know what they say about the little bitch who has the bat. You don't know what they say? Well,
Made to play ball, but that wasn't its purpose. Nuh-uh. In that moment, in Lil Bitch's hands, it was there to break this nigga's head open.
oh man, long as I keep on getting away with it, that's just going to be a mainstay on this. So, with all that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Until next week. Goodbye. Say goodbye. Like, why y'all still here? Why is that red light still here? That red light still here because y'all can't get enough of the simply dashing one, right? This dashing individual that's on your screen. Give y'all a nice view. Yes. Mm. See the salt and pepper here? Yeah. See the oh my goodness. I'm just that nigga.